Hello, class. This is section 3.3 on Sumerian Achievements. The main ideas for this section are number one, the Sumerians invented the world's first writing system. Number two, advances and inventions changed Sumerian lives. And number three, many types of art developed in Sumer. All right, here's the building background for this section. Sumerian society was advanced in terms of religion and government organization. The Sumerians were responsible for many other achievements, which were passed down to later civilizations. So the previous section talked about how they were advanced, right? They had a very advanced religion, right, and system of government. And then this section is going to talk specifically about a lot of the advances and inventions that they had that led to even more advanced civilizations. First, we have Cuneiform, which was the world's first writing system. So they developed cuneiform using styluses on clay tablets. So you can see here on the left the clay tablet with different symbols on it. And they would have used styluses, kind of like the styluses we use today, on iPads and tablets. But this was on clay. Students went to school to become scribes. So scribes, it's just another word for writer. So here's a picture on the right of some Sumerian children learning how to write. You can see they're working on clay tablets with styluses. The word pictograph just means picture symbols. And so cuneiform use pictographs. You can see here in this table how this developed, right? So it says here, Sumerian writing developed from early symbols called pictographs. Writers used clay tablets to record business deals, like this tablet that describes a number of sheep and goats. So you can kind of see that the symbols became more abstract or less like what they actually look like. So like the fish, you can see it's a fish. And over time, it becomes less and less like a fish. Same thing with the bird, grain, etc. Sumerians created works in history, right, which is cool considering this is a history class. Law, right? So law would be, laws and how they would have ruled over their people. Math and grammar. They also wrote literature such as stories, proverbs, songs, and poems. Specifically, they created epics, which are long poems that tell the stories of heroes. And specifically, one of the first epics that we know of is the Epic of Gilgamesh, which is a famous epic poem. Here you can see a picture on the left of a scene from the story. And on the right, you can see some statues from the story as well. So Sumerians created many advances and inventions. And some of the things Sumerians invented were the wheel, which you can see on the top here. This is probably something that probably looks something like this. It was very basic, right? It would have been made out of probably not the most efficient material. And on the bottom left is a much more advanced wheel that we'd see today. They invented the plow, which was pulled by oxen, which you can see here on the top right how this would have looked. And then you can see kind of in the middle here, closer up, what a plow would have looked like. And that is a tool used to help with their farming. Sumerians created a clock that used falling water to tell time. So here on the left, you can see kind of what that probably looked like. The bottom left here is probably a bit more advanced, but same idea. It used falling water to tell the time. Sumerians created underground sewers, right, which would have taken their waste, right, their urine and their feces, right, poop, from their homes. And the fact that it was underground was much more advanced, right? It's not running through their streets, it's running underground. So you can see here in this middle picture, that hole, right? You can see the kind of sort of canal leading to the hole would have led underground, which is super useful, right? We don't want our waste just out and about. Sumerians created stronger bronze tools, which you can see here on the right. They created a number system based on the number 60. So you can see here, I'm sure it's very complicated, but just a picture to represent that. And then Sumerians invented some new medicines and medical techniques. So you can see here on the right, um, an early form of some sort of medicine in Sumer. All right, so Sumerians also were big with architecture, which is the science of building. Right, so this picture underneath the word architecture is obviously a modern, super advanced building today. But on the right and on the bottom, we have some pictures that represent what it would have looked like back then. So very few people had palaces or two-story homes, right? And those that did would have lived near the Ziggurats. They would have been priests. They would have been nobles. Most lived in one-story homes with rooms around a courtyard. And they would have used mud bricks to build their buildings, which you can see here on the bottom. Ziggurats are their sort of pyramid-shaped temple towers that were created in Sumer and Mesopotamia. And so here you see on the left kind of what it would look like, and on the right, a sort of model creation. In terms of the arts, they created statues and small objects from ivory or wood. So probably on the bottom left, they look more like maybe a mixture of ivory. Some are wood. They made jewelry from gold, silver, and gems, kind of like you see here in the bottom or the bottom middle. They made cylinder seals, which on the bottom right you can see the sort of cylinder shape with the cuneiform on it and the pictures on it. They would have rolled that on probably clay, and you can see what that would have created on a clay tablet. And they also created some musical instruments: pipes, drums, tambourines, lyres, which are kind of like the harp you can see here on the top. Is called a lyre. This stringed musical instrument is called a lyre. It features a cow's head and is made of silver, decorated with shell and stone. And then there's a picture of a cylinder seal here, which shows how you can see kind of how it would have rolled onto the clay, just like the bottom right. So the big idea for this section is that the Sumerians made many advances that helped their society develop. All right, thank you.